Welcome to another episode of Pure Hyzer Productions. I'm your host, Pablo Stubstad, and joining me today as a returning guest commentator, I've got Ray Johnson. Thanks for joining me, Ray.
Thank you.
And today what we're going to take a look at is final round coverage from St. Patrick's Classic. This was a 3-day A-tier event held in Orangevale, California at the Shady Disc Golf Course on March 18th through 20th. Do you want to tell me a little bit about the course there and the differences we're going to see from the round 2 coverage we saw to this final round?
Yeah, round 2 we played a 27-hole layout, 17 permanent holes, 10 temp holes, and now we're just going to play the traditional 18 layout, and the temp holes have been deleted. On Sunday we had some weather coming in, possible chance of rain. All the players are worried about it, at least I was.
I mean, if you're playing a tournament and there's any chance of rain, you got to bring all kinds of extra gear and extra rags and just be prepared for it, even if it's not going to happen. So
yeah,
it affects everyone's mental state.
The bags get a little more heavy, a little more fatigue happens, you're busier the whole time.
At least bags get heavier if you don't have a caddy to carry it for you. And in part 1 of this episode, round 2 of this tournament, we saw both Ricky Wysocki and Nikko Locastro put on a pretty phenomenal performance. Ricky especially, but really both of them. I mean, Ricky started the second round with a 1-stroke lead over Nikko. He did get that up to 3 strokes going into the final round here, but I mean, he gained 2 strokes in 27 holes, so it's anyone's game at the top still as well. And we also saw, unfortunately, Simon Lizotte missing a few putts towards the end of round 2 that did drop him off the lead card. And Ray Johnson here is going to be taking his place as actually only 1 stroke away from Philo Brathwaite, who's currently sitting in 3rd. And lastly, I just want to thank Bruce and Jennifer Nisley, the tournament directors, for this fantastic tournament. And I want to encourage anyone who's in the area who wants to check out the Shady Oaks Disc Golf Course to also check out their little pro shop right on the course, Final 9 Sports. They've got all kinds of discs and bags and other disc golf gear and snacks and drinks and anything you might need out there.
It's definitely the best disc golf shop in Northern California.
It
got
really
a lot
is.
of selection there.
Yeah, they have fantastic selection there, I gotta say. Anyway, so it's anyone's game for first here in round 3 between Ricky and Nikko, and anyone's game for third between Ray and Philo. So we've got a lot of exciting competition to get to. Let's go check out the coverage.
Yeah, little double battle.
Yeah. St. Patrick's Classic 2016, final round lead card.
In first place, we have Ricky Wysocki from Fort Mill, South Carolina, 33 under, rating 1043.
Second place, Nikko Locastro, 30 under from Grass Valley, California, rating a 1035.
Third place, Philo Brathwaite, 21 under, rating 1018.
And fourth place, Ray Johnson, 20 under from Grass Valley, California, rating of 1001. Hole 1, still in the B placement. All the placements are the same as they were for round 2. 335 feet uphill.
Probably plays 370, 365, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it's quite a rip for me, if that says anything, as an amateur. Ricky turns this over a little much, goes out a little wide, but maybe circles edge putt from there, 40 feet, a little outside the circle.
Stay straight.
Nikko Hyzer's out a little early there.
He had the right line, just needed a little more power. Yeah, it's going to put him just a little short left.
That's looking good.
Philo gave it a little run.
Go in the
That's
hole.
a good line.
Green.
Threw a Thunderbird there. It seems to be the right distance on that hole for me.
Oh, I guess Nikko went deep left. I said short left. And Ricky probably from about 40.
A little low.
Man, that's not like he was putting in the second round. First putt of the round, though. New day.
Philo with a solid putt. It's about 30?
Yeah, 30, 35 maybe. Very similar to the way he played this hole in round 2. Went a little wide, but made the putt. And Ray.
I was a little bit nervous on this first hole.
Yeah, I mean, lead card at a big 8 here with Ricky, Wysocki, and Nikko, and it's gotta affect the nerves for anyone.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I putted like that the first round, the entire round, so it was like kind of in the back of my head going into that little putt. Nikko taps out.
And so does Ricky. Three pars and a birdie. Philo's got 2 strokes on Ray, and Ricky's still with those 3 strokes on Nikko, like he had for a big portion of round 2. Hole 2C, 338 feet. Signature pin placement here at Shady Oaks.
Perfect shot right there.
Yeah, just threw something nice and understable out to the left and let it turn over and just hold that line. Slid it right up to the base of the pyramid. Oh, great shot from Ricky as well.
I believe we all threw mid-range here. I don't know what Ricky threw, but Philo threw a rock.
Actually not quite sure what Nikko threw there either.
Yeah, he doesn't have many mid-range in his bag, typically.
And that's a great shot too. 3 out of 4, right at the base of the pyramid. Nikko just high off the number plate.
It's easy to miss putts like that high because you're thinking, don't miss low, it's uphill.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I do that all the time. Good birdie. And Nikko coming back for a par. Barely see the side of his head back there. It's a little bit tricky from right there, actually, because sometimes that railing is a little bit in your way. I'm not sure if it was for Nikko or not. And birdie for Ricky as well, and Philo's right there. Out of 4 on that one. Ricky pulling ahead of Nikko a little bit. Hole 3A, 325 downhill, a patch of OB to the left of the basket and the tall grass down there.
This hole really sets up for a sidearm if you have the sidearm power. Philo goes with the Hyzer here.
That's my preferred approach to this too. If you want to go with the sidearm, you got to really have a lot of power because you got to get it up high, throw almost like a spike Hyzer sidearm, as we're going to see Ricky do right here.
Oh, you're so short.
It's hard to tell in the video here, but there's actually a pretty good crosswind up there that pushed his disc down a little.
Yeah, Ricky thought he was going to be short, but I mean, he was only 20 feet short or something.
For me, this is pretty much my max sidearm distance, so I revved that one up and yanked it.
That's about what it would look like if I tried to throw a sidearm on this hole, too.
Keep going.
A little bit low for Nikko. Hit the window, just need a little more height. Yep, it's laying up for the 3. And Philo probably from about 50.
Oh.
Wow.
Hits it.
We're seeing plenty of outside the circle putts in round 2. It only took 3 holes for us to see a nice one in the final round. These guys can putt.
These guys are making it look easy. That was probably 45-50 as well.
Yeah, it was just slightly closer than Philo. Ricky gets it in there. It's not very often you see 2 huge outside the circle putts in a row like that either. Yeah, 3 birdies and a par. And we move on to the more wooded section of Shady Oaks, which is really most of it. First 3 holes are more open. Hole 4B, 300 feet. OB Creek winds through the fairway if it has water in it.
Keep turning. Keep turning.
Philo went right at Jen. And that actually rolled through the water and stayed safe on the other side of it. So no penalty stroke for Philo. They were just playing if it was fully surrounded. It was OB at this tournament.
Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning.
He gets caught up a little early, but he's got a putt. Maybe about 35 or 40 from there.
That's a nice line.
Get in the hole, baby. Come on.
Man, that looked pretty solid too.
Barely left, maybe? That was...
Barely left, but coming in on an Annie.
Yeah.
I mean, that could have easily stuck. It barely spit out. Perfect line on that. Park job.
It's always a little hard to follow up somebody that almost aced.
Ooh, Ricky just high. Yeah, like I was saying about the 2 big putts in a row being so uncommon, it's the same thing. You know, somebody hits a 60-footer right before you, you might be a little nervous stepping up to yours. Philo from down in the ditch.
Nice putt.
Couldn't really see it, but I imagine his footing was not great down there either, given there was actually a lot of water right around where he was. Kept the feet dry and got the birdie. Good birdie from Ray. Smiling for the camera. And Nikko
Cleans up.
so close to getting that ace.
That's a few times Nikko's almost giving you an ace now, huh?
Yeah, that's true. He almost aced at Sierra College at King of the Lake last year. That's PHP 11B if anyone wants to go check that one out. Or 11C, excuse me. And hole 5C here, par 3, 432, one of the longer holes they're going to be playing today, if not the longest, actually, because the long temp holes are not in the layout for this day.
It's a tricky one to get to. You got to get around those branches right there.
Don't stay in the air like that.
And
Kidding me,
That's a
dude.
bad break.
2 meter rule was in effect at this tournament, so that's a penalty. It even bounced around in the branches a little bit, looking like it might come down, and nope.
I don't think I've ever seen one stick there, and I've played this tournament a lot.
Maybe if you hit that tree way higher up.
Yeah,
or something,
higher,
but
makes
yeah,
sense.
He just hit the lowest part of those branches.
Stop.
A little bit of an early release for Nikko.
Look at all that pollen. Springtime.
Yes, sir.
And Rays fell out, and there's the creek right there. You see the spotter running up, and spotter says safe.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a nice shot.
Wow,
I
great.
didn't know it was that close.
Yeah, it hit the ground, I mean, right by the basket, and just skipped maybe 15, 20 feet deep. That's an impressive shot. This hole's definitely a bonus birdie. And Nikko looking for that skip off the dirt. Doesn't quite hit the dirt patch. And Ray stayed safe.
Yeah, a lot of times when you hit the branch that I did there, you'll drop in that little creek.
And
I
this
got
is
a little lucky.
one of the few places where there's actually water. A lot of places in this creek bed was actually safe during this tournament, where sometimes it's not. Good upshot, parked for a 3. And Philo, after going OB up in the tree, his 3rd shot from here. He's trying to save a 4 at this point. And gets a really unfortunate rollaway.
World right here.
Not very often you get 2 bad breaks in a row.
Yeah. Stuck in a tree, and then the upshot looked like it was just going to slide right up to the pin. And instead hit that tree and rolled away. Nikko really wanted par. Gave that a good chance. There we briefly saw Jeffrey Yunker caddying for Ricky, I believe.
With 13 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Philo misses for 4 from there. And Ricky for a birdie after a beautiful drive.
That's a good birdie right here.
That's the first one we've seen on the lead card this year. Nobody got it in round 2. And Philo spit through strong side. That wasn't even spit out. I went frame by frame on that and saw he went between the inner and outer chains, strong side.
Awesome.
This course gets a lot of play, so I feel like even though these baskets aren't that old, they're a little slick. Like the galvanized has been polished. And I saw a few spit outs throughout my tournament myself.
Yeah. Bouncing back out off the pole and that kind of thing happens once in a while. It's pretty rare to see the spit through, where it actually goes through the inner part of the chains. And we got birdie, bogey, par, and a 6P from Philo. 3 bad breaks in a row, getting stuck in the tree, getting the roll away, and then getting a spit through. As we move on to hole 6C, par 3, 298. Skip shot or crazy up and over the top shot if you're Simon Lizotte.
Yeah, that's a crazy line.
Never occurred to me until I saw Simon do it.
Don't hit that.
Ricky shows everyone how it's done.
I kind of prefer the straight pin on this hole. Like the course is already righty friendly. This is a really hard hole for a lefty. Unless they have a sidearm, they're not going to get a birdie.
And that was on a good line if it had missed that branch. And I agree, the straight pin on this hole is actually kind of different and challenging in its own way, a little more interesting. Tricky green. Actually,
yeah, creek's like 15 feet behind it.
Yeah, it's right by the creek. Maybe more dangerous than this because this is just a overstable skip Hyzer shot. For the AM weekend, actually, the AMs did play the pin you're talking about, the straight pin. And they put it here just for the pros.
Nice.
That was textbook right there.
Come back, Philo.
Gave that one a little
Yeah,
bit.
that
But
was a good run. Safe one to run, I mean, with that hill behind it.
yeah, it's a nice one.
Good recovery for Philo. It's always tough stepping up to the next tee after a bunch of bad luck. Good birdie from Nikko as well.
Nice
Nice,
putt.
Ricky.
Good sized gallery. Watch the whole final round here.
Yeah, from the film, it was hard to tell how many people were out there, but it seemed, what do you think, 150, 100 people at least?
Something like that for this round. Yeah, there was a gallery for round 2 as well, but a lot smaller than for round 3. 7B, 374. Really got to stay on the fairway in this one.
Yeah, even though it's a hyzer, it's a little tricky. You want to flip up late as you're throwing like a power skip hyzer.
Pretty much just like that.
Yeah, that's pretty much perfect.
Great shot from Nikko. Philo's straightened out. There's a creek over there, but he stopped before it. He's safe.
Ah, that's how I got there. I thought I was going to be right behind that culvert, actually, because I threw that a little more hyzer than I intended.
Yeah, that's exactly what Simon did and where he ended up. He hit that and stopped right behind it. Philo had a really tricky window from there. Good putt, good birdie.
Birdie.
And Philo for a 3 after flipping some branches. It's a lot of holes so far. We got 3 out of 4. No star frames yet this round. A little view of the gallery here. And with that birdie, Ray moves up into a tie with Philo for 3rd. Ricky's pulling ahead of Nikko a little bit. No more on that hole, but I guess starting on hole 5. Hole 8B, 257. Really tricky shot. Don't let the 257 deceive you.
Yeah, it's a really hard right dog leg. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody get to the pin without going over the top.
Yeah.
That's a good view right there to see how big the dog leg is.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much got to get a great skip and then also hit like a 30-foot putt to birdie this. Unless, like you said, you go up over the top.
I would actually like to see Creek and Beyond OB on this hole.
Yeah,
that way people wouldn't go over the top, lose disc, and go in other fairways.
That looks good.
Nice.
Great skip there. Good shot. And I mean, look at that. That's pretty much the ideal shot. And you're still looking at a 30, 35 footer.
Yeah, maybe even. I feel like it might be 38.
Yeah, you could be right. See when we get there. It looks
Yeah.
a little clearer once the view is closer.
Ooh, it's gonna
A
make
little
it.
low.
Nice.
And you throw low like that, you get a lot of skip. Philo is actually a few feet closer than Ray there.
This guy makes putting look easy.
He knew it was in, just like that par save putt on hole 5 in round 2. He was well on his way to the basket before it hit the chains. Ricky knows when he's on.
Where are you going, man?
That's what I was talking about. It's tough sometimes to follow up those huge putts. Just left.
Nice putt.
Yeah, that's 2 birdies on this hole. I don't think we saw any in round 2. And Nikko saves the par. And Ray just tapping in a par. And Philo with that birdie. Now has 1 stroke on Ray again. Ricky's got 6 strokes on Nikko now, taking off with it a little bit. Hole 9B, 396. Great roller hole, or sidearm for a few people, but even Ricky doesn't sidearm it. But last year at St. Patty's, we did see Greg Barsby actually outdrive the basket with a sidearm on this.
Yeah, that's some big sidearm power right there. Through the
Ricky
bushes.
found a gap right through those bushes. What are the chances of that?
When you're leading, stuff happens.
That's not gonna work. Come on.
A little
Hurry up.
wide for Philo. It did turn over. Just a bit late.
Sit.
Nikko finds the inside line for the roller. Stands up a little soon, ends up a little bit short, but probably circles edge putt from there. Maybe just outside. And what do you throw for this shot?
It's a really flippy Roadrunner. I actually carried 2 Roadrunners. This one doesn't roll as far, but turns to the right really hard.
Which is what you need for this hole. Look at that. Textbook shot right there. Spiraled around the pin. You don't see a lot of park jobs on this hole.
That's just what I need as a park job for battling against Philo. He's a great putter.
Nikko, maybe about 35, 40.
Come on, man.
Just short. Ricky gets it in there. Good too. Drop in. It's a good birdie. And we're halfway through the round. Ricky with another birdie. Has 7 strokes on Nikko now, but Ray with that birdie is once again tied up with Philo. Tight battle for third here. So we move on to hole 10, 221 downhill. A lot of options on this one. Straight up the gut, little low hyzer on the right, up and over with a spike.
Ricky goes with the sidearm.
Less common of a shot on this hole. But you know Ricky has that one in his bag all day.
Yeah, he has a really nice touch on his sidearm.
Ray lining up to go up and over. And there is the creek back there, but that did stay safe as well. Nikko also going up and over. Tombstone. It's probably about 25 feet from there, not too bad. And Philo. Also up and over. Nobody throws that low hyzer line to the right. It seems so simple to me.
I tried it in practice. I kept hitting those trees a little short and right, and it would give you about a 40-footer.
And as you can hear here, rain picked up a little bit all of a sudden on this hole. Really just a drizzle at this point. Yeah, I don't know. That low hyzer line has always worked really well for me, but you guys must be onto something if none of you threw it this round or the previous round. Nikko with a good birdie. Ray taps in par. Good birdie for Rick, and Philo with the park job. At least you guys had to deal with a little bit of rain. For us AMs, it was 3 days of rain the weekend before this.
Yeah, we did luck out.
3 birdies and a par on that hole. Another almost star frame. Hole 11, 274. It's really a good sidearm shot, but the turnover line is there.
Ricky just steps up and parks it.
That's a good strategy, you know, when it's raining, throw while your disc is dry.
Yeah, I tend to play a lot quicker when it's raining as well.
You might feel more comfortable doing your whole routine. See, Nikko's doing it too. But, you know, it's better to cut your routine short and throw when the disc is still dry. And Nikko parks it as well, just like he did in round 2. Philo, after the sidearm didn't work too well for him in the last round, he tries the turnover backhand shot.
That was a really nice shot.
Perfect.
That backhand is a lot harder than the sidearm. I threw sidearm on this the first 2 rounds, but with the rain, I feel like my backhand has a better grip. I might have too much grip there.
A little bit too much. And the rain is really picking up now. All of a sudden, it was pretty dry and even sunny on hole 8 a couple holes ago. Good layup. Good birdie from Philo. Backhand line worked out for him. And the rain's already letting up. It was heavier on Ray's upshot than it is now for these guys putting.
Very nice, Ricky.
Easy tap in for Nikko.
Sorry, bud.
Well, maybe it's picking up a little again now. You never know. Unpredictable weather patterns out here today. 3 birdies and a par on hole 11. Philo with 2 strokes on Ray now. Ricky still with 7 on Nikko. Hole 12, 324 downhill. Pretty straightforward shot. Not a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, hole 10 and 11, you've got to get those holes. Those might be the 2 easiest holes on the course. This is pretty easy hole 2, pretty straightforward.
Yeah. Barely caught the tail end of, well, not the tail end, but right as Ricky threw there, I was fumbling with my umbrella clip. Barely turned the camera on in time. They're going for the higher Hyzer line. That's the danger with taking the high Hyzer on this hole. I kind of prefer throwing low and flat, just something straight at it, maybe with a little bit of Hyzer.
Yeah, it's a lot more favorable. If you come in low, it skips out there. The big Hyzer is dangerous.
Bring it.
One time.
Philo running it. I like that line. I couldn't really see how that ended up, but it's right there. Nikko after getting caught up in the trees.
Nice putt.
Great putt up and over that branch. Ricky with a bit of an awkward straddle here.
No problem for Ricky.
No. I mean, he plays technical courses a lot, I'm sure. Back in South Carolina. There's a lot of wooded courses out that way. Philo after what must have been a really close ace run. I didn't get the best angle for the drives on this hole. This round. And a tap-in birdie for Ray. Finally got a star frame.
All right.
Hole 13D, 401 uphill. A lot of trees guarding the basket, but pretty open up until right before that.
I think this is my favorite fairway on this course, especially when it's in the C position. You see the basket up there. It's very beautiful.
Yeah, the C position straight ahead towards the kind of gap in the trees you can see there to the right. That is what the AMs played the weekend before. We got the slightly easier placement than this one.
Well, there it is. Heads up!
A little bit of grip lock for Nikko, maybe. Turned it over a little too much.
Sometimes when it's raining, your hand gets nice and clammy and the disc actually sticks in there instead of slipping out.
It's a lot more factors to deal with playing in the rain, for sure.
Hit that tree, baby, like everything else. Come on.
Another bad break.
Yeah, if that had skipped just before it, it was skipping up towards the basket for sure. Yeah, good shot there. 20 feet or so, I think. Is that a destroyer on that one?
That was a destroyer, yeah. You don't have to throw the destroyer very often at this course. It's pretty short.
And Nikko with a good out there. I mean, he was kneeling under some low branches and skipped it up there. Clipped a little branch, not sure how much that affected it. And Ricky, long look at it too.
Probably about 70 feet. Like, that was a pretty long putt.
He hit a putt from almost the same spot in the last round. He played the hole almost the same way. Kind of came up a little short, left, and just hit the putt anyway. Doesn't matter if you can putt like Ricky. Just off the top. Oh, that was more like 30, 35.
Yeah,
that was not 20,
there,
like I said.
Yeah, I really like playing tournaments that have the circle painted, just so you have a really good judge of how far you're putting, actually.
Yeah, it helps you judge it, and it helps you make calls, too, you know, for
Yeah.
jump putting. A little harder to do on courses like this, I imagine, where
Yeah, the grass probably grew 4 inches that week.
The grass, and there's a bunch of trees and stuff within the range of the circle as well. Yeah, Ricky with the only birdie that time. We actually saw a star frame on that hole in round 2, which was quite impressive.
Yeah, that's not an easy hole.
And now we're seeing hole 14 for the first time in these videos anyway, since they did skip this hole when they played the 10 temp holes in round 2. It was a pretty fun shot, kind of a low Hyzer like that, let it level out in the end, and pretty much like Ricky's did there. I think it hit that little tree, but he stopped right there. He's probably about 15 feet. Nikko had a decent line. It was a little high and kicked off to the left a little bit.
That's nice looking.
Win. Oh.
Yeah. Hard
Philo
job.
laced it.
Yeah, Philo. Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah,
looks
right.
really good as well.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
It was probably just because we both threw rocks that they were that close.
It is a rock shot for sure. That's what I throw too for both placements in this hole.
That's a hard putt to go for, that low ceiling right there.
Yeah, there's the creek down there past this basket too. That was high risk for Nikko to really commit to that. Ricky gets the birdie.
Nikko's kind of just in the position at this point where he's probably going to get second.
Yeah,
Ricky's way ahead and he's putting really well. Philo and I are pretty far behind him.
Yeah, Nikko's sitting comfortably in second, but unless Ricky starts taking 6s and 7s, it's probably not going to happen. Three birdies and a par. 2 strokes between Philo and Ray still. Ricky with a very comfortable 9 strokes on Nikko. Well, 15C, 416 feet downhill, plays over the OB Creek twice. And this section of OB to the left of the 2 bridges is actually OB no matter what, whether there's water in it or not. Unlike the rest of the creeks here today.
Hey, when
Nice
it's
kick.
meant to be, man. What are you gonna do?
So we actually had about a 45-minute wait on this hole.
Yeah, it was bad. There were 3 or 4 groups backed up.
Yeah, I had time to actually go back to the car and drink a Red Bull. I was getting tired from the rain and being gloomy out. Oh, that was going to be good.
And Philo almost did it twice. We saw him throw the perfect shot on this hole in round 2. Actually got the birdie that round. And that shot, if it had just been 6 inches lower, it was on the same line.
Yeah, being 2 strokes down, I had to go for that one, especially with Philo not having a birdie putt.
This is a tricky shot. This is one of my favorite fairways here. Like you were saying about 13. This one and 13.
Yeah, this one's it's tight. It's a good fairway.
Ray with tricky second shot here.
Get it. Get it.
Perfect. Now, what'd you throw on that one?
I threw a leopard there. Like, if we were in dry conditions, I probably would have done a little run up and thrown my rock, but it was pretty slick, the stance I had there.
Yeah, it's a good thing for players to think about. You know, if the conditions are different, you can't get a good run up, or you have a bad stance otherwise, throwing less stable plastic to get that turn that you need is a smart way to play.
That was Ricky's first upshot of the day.
Yeah, it was. Nikko with a tricky little second shot here. Not a problem. Oh, Philo almost saves the par. And Ricky for 3. No problem. And yeah, like Ray said, that was his first upshot of the day. For those of you not keeping track, he missed his birdie putt on hole 1. He missed his birdie putt on hole 4. And this just now was his 3rd par of the round. Besides 1, 4, and 15, he has birdied every hole. Par save for Ray and for Nikko as well. And Philo with the bogey. That's frustrating after parking the hole in round 2 and getting the birdie. 1 stroke between Philo and Ray now. Hole 16B, 291. Pretty straight shot with a fallen tree right in front of the basket.
That tree's made a big difference. It doesn't look like much, and it's still only a 25-foot putt from there, but I've definitely thrown my shot a lot higher now.
Yeah, it affects drives, and it's got to affect a lot of putts, too. Ooh. Ace run from Ricky. I mean, a 25-footer is a lot harder when you've got, you know, branches like that or tree trunks. And it's not like laying on the ground. I mean, it's kind of elevated a little bit. Like waist height. It makes a lot of putts a lot harder if you're in it. Good shot right there.
Nice drive.
Yeah. I mean, Nikko was trying to run it. Might as well at this point.
No trees. Too long.
Philo says no trees and gets a little friendly kick. Trees showing him they're not always bad. That was a really good putt from Nikko. Looked like a tricky window, like a little lofty putt up and over that branch.
Yeah, it almost looked like he went through those branches.
He found a little window. He went right over the one that we can see over the basket now. Putt from Ricky. Good birdie from Ray as well. Just leaves Philo. And there's exactly what I was talking about. I mean, it's a close putt, but that's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
He got it in there still, but it affects a lot. I mean, his leg between those two trunks and his arm probably couldn't swing down as low as he would have liked.
Yeah, you couldn't tell in the video. He actually took a long time on that, trying to figure out what he wanted to do, what stance to go with.
Yeah, I'm always torn about whether or not to leave that stuff in, because on one hand it's interesting, but on the other hand this video is already over an hour long, and if I left in all that stuff it would be an hour and a half, but he did take a long time figuring out his stance on that for sure. Hole 17, D, 420 feet uphill. Most people throw a roller on this, although I've seen several players throw the air shot. Yeah, good line from Ricky. A little short right, but it's a tough one to reach. This is definitely a bonus birdie too. It's like this one in hole 5 and maybe hole 15. 3 toughest ones today. Good roller line from Ray as well. Maybe a tiny bit closer than Ricky, but right in the same area. Nikko goes a little bit wider. Right in the same area again. 3 of you right there. Philo really doesn't throw a lot of rollers.
Clean. Go in the hole.
And he doesn't need to.
No, that's beautiful.
That's a really tough hole to park. That's a great drive.
After watching that, it makes me want to switch to the air shot.
Just short for Nikko. And the rain has totally let up by this point, so... Oh, Ricky hits another great putt. Still only 3 pars. Birdieing everything else. Nikko's not even playing that poorly. I mean, Ricky's just taking off, barely making any mistakes.
Didn't quite finish that putt. Felt pretty much the same as hole 1.
Yeah, it's always something mental, you know, when you feel your follow-through get cut short.
Yeah, your body gets stiff for some reason.
Yeah. Easy drop-in birdie for Philo after a great drive. And Nikko and Ray tap in their pars. 1 hole to go here at St. Patrick's Classic. 2 birdies and 2 pars on hole 17 there. Philo has 2 strokes on Ray now going into the last hole, and Ricky has 10 on Nikko. Ricky just with a phenomenal performance here this weekend. Hole 18C, 323 downhill. There is OB past the ridge you see, past the basket. The traditional handshake before the last hole. Players showing some good sportsmanship.
Sidearm.
About circle's edge. Maybe 25, 30. Philo beelining it.
I think that's his favorite disc on this course. He threw that green rock a lot.
A lot in round 2 and a lot in this round as well. For different types of shots too. You know, those straight shots like this one in 16, and he threw it for turnover shots like hole 3 also. Faded a little bit early, but that's a look. Maybe 30, 35. Nikko going for the ace. Just off the top. Strong finish for Nikko. He played well out there. Ricky was just unbeatable this weekend. I mean, he just couldn't miss a putt. Ray taps in the par. Philo finishes on a birdie as well, securing third place. And Ricky Wysocki. It was almost too perfect.
I think if we had putted in order and didn't clear the stage for him, he makes that putt.
Yeah, it could be. That kind of changes the mental game a little bit. But either way, a fantastic round from Ricky Wysocki. That right there was his 4th par of the round. So that's 14 under for this third and final round at St. Paddy's. A great showing out here, and the little bit of rain didn't really stop the gallery. Good amount of people watching. And that wraps it up. Here we see the final scores. Ricky finishes at 47 under, Nikko 38 under, Philo 30 under, and Ray at 27 under. And take a look at these round ratings. Ricky's 14 under was 1100 rated.
Yeah, it was a really good round. A lot of good putting.
Phenomenal putting. I mean, he actually didn't park a lot of holes. He just gave himself the looks and he made the putts.
Yeah.
Well, that wraps it up for St. Patrick's Classic. What a performance by Ricky Wysocki. I mean, he could not miss on the putting green.
Yeah, it's crazy.
He missed his putt on hole 1, missed his putt on hole 4, and then went on a 9-hole birdie streak.
Sneaky, too, because he didn't realize that he was birdieing everything because the putts were so large. You were just kind of, there wasn't park shots.
Yeah, he wasn't parking anything, exactly, which it's really sneaky. Like, you don't really notice that he's doing that while watching the video. Since his drives they're okay. He's putting himself 20, 30, sometimes 40, 50 feet, but
yeah, making it look easy.
Yeah, he just hit every putt after hole 4 and did clip that branch on hole 15 and have an upshot for a par, and then proceeded to start hitting putts again until that unfortunate miss on the last hole. But hey, even with that, I mean, 14 under, bogey free for 18 holes, 1100 rated round. I mean,
one upshot the whole round.
Yeah, one upshot for an entire round. I mean, just an incredible performance by Ricky. And, Nikko actually didn't play badly. Even he shot above his own rating.
It was about a 1050 rated round, somewhere there about.
1040, 1050, above his rating. Solid, not amazing, but solid enough for normal play anyway. But I don't even know if Macbeth could have beaten Ricky if he'd been at this tournament.
Probably not this weekend.
You never know. I mean, assuming Ricky performed the same. He was practically unbeatable out there, and we saw that all throughout round 2 as well as round 3, just draining big putts left and right. And exciting back and forth between Ray and Philo.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of got out in front of me, but then the unfortunate on hole 5 where he went out of bounds and then a roll away and then a spit through and kind of got me back in the game.
Yeah, all of a sudden tied after that hole, and for the next, 8 or 9 holes, there was a lot of back and forth. They're tied. Ray had 1 stroke. They're tied. Philo had 1 stroke, and Philo was able to pull ahead by a stroke or 2 at the end. But I should mention that at the beginning of this round, actually, maybe should have said this in the intro, but the entire chase card was only 1 stroke. Maybe 3 people from the chase card were 1 stroke off of Ray, and 1 person was 2 strokes.
Yeah, Cam was 2 off.
Yeah, and Ray did shoot well enough to hold on to 4th, so it's one of those rare cases where the 4 players we followed in the video actually got 1st through 4th. Nobody snuck up from the chase card. But anyway, a fantastic performance from all 4 players. Just a lot of exciting shots out there at Shady Oaks. Really great course. A lot of blind shots, technical shots. I love seeing the course bring out the different strengths and weaknesses that players have, and Shady Oaks really does that.
Yeah, you have to throw a lot of different discs. A lot of understable, short, shots, mid-range, like fairway drivers.
And there's roller holes and sidearm holes and skip shots, and you got to really play the terrain and have a really good mixed bag to play that course. So great performance from everyone and lots of fantastic shots this round. This is going to be a good highlight reel with Ricky's performance, so let's go take a look at it. Oh, and thanks, Ray, for coming on as my guest again. Appreciate it. First up on the highlight reel,
Philo from 35, 40. Dead center.
Solid start for Philo both rounds, with a very, very similar putt from a very similar spot. And hole 3, Philo and Nikko both hitting huge putts. Philo from probably about 50, Nikko maybe about 45. Two beautiful putts on that hole.
I like that side-by-side action.
It only works with certain camera angles and stuff. I try to do it when I can if two players either both have a great drive or both have a great putt on the same hole. But it's a rare treat in Pure Hyzer Productions episodes. And of course, Nikko's chain out on hole 4.
I believe he threw a turn here to hold that Anheuser so well. So close. Man, the chains are all messed up.
Yeah, that's right. Ricky actually had to go fix the chains before putting on this hole, since Nikko's chain out got him all tangled. And Philo hitting a great putt from down in the ditch on hole 4. Getting his birdie on that hole. Working for it. And Ricky Wysocki driving on hole 5. The biggest shot of the round, 432 feet. Nice high turnover shot. Gets around the one tree that you gotta miss. Skips it right under the basket. And just to show Ricky getting the only birdie we saw for round 2 and 3 lead card here this year. Ricky Wysocki birdies hole 5. Actually, after his par on hole 4, hole 5 started a birdie streak for Ricky that I believe did not end until hole 15. And Ray putting for a birdie up on the hill on hole 7 after skipping over that drainage pipe. Good birdie. Ricky Wysocki again with another huge putt. Probably another 50-footer or so. Look at that walk. Ricky was just making everything. And Ray Johnson's drive on hole 9. The best drive I've ever personally witnessed on this hole. Perfect roller line.
Circules.
Almost a leaner. A 2-foot drop in on a pretty tough hole. Next up, Nikko Locastro putting on hole 12 after hitting those trees on his Hyzer line.
Really nice putt there.
Yeah, clean. Right in the center. Nikko making sure the star frame happened on hole 12 in the rain. We're about 3 or 4 holes of rain this round. Not too bad. And Ricky with another putt on hole 13, very similar to his putt in the second round.
His long putts almost go in better than his short putts.
They really do. It's crazy. I mean, whether he puts himself 30 feet or 50 feet, he was getting the birdies. And it's crazy to think about how many holes he parked, which is really not very many, if any, that I can think of. You know, he was hitting putts on every hole. Some of them in the circle, some of them out, but I'd say the other 3 players probably had more park jobs than Ricky. Ricky just did not miss on the putting green this round, with 3 exceptions.
Throw for show, putt for dough.
And speaking of park jobs, there's a park job right there from Ray Johnson on hole 14. Perfect turnover rock shot. And recovery shots don't often make the highlight reel, but I thought this was a really good one. I mean, Ray hit one of the first trees off the tee, so this must have been like a 300-foot upshot.
Yeah, it was one of my best shots of the tournament.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times upshots can be more impressive than drives because you're in these tricky positions that you don't really have to deal with off any of the tee pads. And Ricky's drive on hole 16. Trying to get that ace. Finish even better than he did. And here's Nikko's putt on this hole. Look at the window he's going for. Right above that branch you see over the basket.
Oh, yeah.
He saw
Very
the window.
nice.
Made it through there. That's a great putt. And hole 17. Philo with a phenomenal air shot on a hole that's much more common for players to roll than try this shot. But he knows where the window is.
I think that's the best air shot I've ever seen on that hole.
He's
For sure. Yeah, it's only 10 feet.
Parked it. And Ricky Wysocki with one last big putt here on hole 17. I mean, if you think about it, he could have easily missed that and then made the one on 18, and it would have been the same in the end.
Yeah.
So he hit a lot of crazy putts. I mean, you can't complain about an 1100 rated round. Not a lot of players have ever gotten to experience that. And here he is, dropping in his par on the last hole for the win. 2016 St. Patrick's Classic champion, Ricky Wysocki. Solid performance from all the players. Please subscribe to Pure Hyzer Productions for more quality disc golf tournament coverage. And now we'll move on to the awards.
Eighth place tie, Kyle Norman, Simon Lizotte, and Drew Gibson. Seventh place, Matt House. Sixth place, Matt Bell. Fifth place, Cameron Todd.
Cameron would like to thank everyone.
Fourth place, Ray Johnson. Ray. All right, coming in third place, Philo Brathwaite.
Right on. What an intense battle for third day with Ray. I mean, came down all kinds of crazy stuff going on out there. Like, good times. Congrats to Rick. I mean, the guy played like a beast the whole time. That's kind of a sketchy word to use. Beast it up on us like with method, something else, some crazy stuff. Same with Nikko, great playing with you guys. Love the course. Thanks for getting me on short notice. Appreciate it. Thank my sponsors, End of a Champion, Boom, Upper Park Designs. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. Oak Grove Disc Golf, all the good people. Thank you guys.
Coming in second place, Nikko Locastro.
All right, so it was a great weekend to be out here. I felt a lot of support from the crowd. I definitely want to congratulate Ricky on an outstanding performance. The guy putted better than anyone I've ever seen, so I'll tip my hat to Ricky. He was awesome out there. Thank you, Bruce and Jenny, for putting on the tournament. Definitely thank my caddy, Mario, and had a few others help me caddy. It was really nice to have that support out there. Thank my girlfriend, Jessica, and her mom for coming out to support me always. Love coming out here. Be back next year. Thank you, Daredevil Discs, for allowing me to throw a mixed bag this year and choose all the discs that I want to make me perform my best. So thank you guys.
Coming in first place, Ricky Wysocki.
Ricky, hold on.
Sweet guy.
Boy, Rick!
A little more light.
I was trying not to get the shadow on the glass.
Well, I want to thank first off Bruce and Final Nine and everyone helped get the course together, all the extra holes and all the spotters. There's a lot of spotters out there, so I want to thank them. And I want to say I'm glad to get revenge from last year. I had a good battle with Barsby last year, and this year was Nikko. So I'm just glad to have the opportunity to battle with these guys, and I'm glad that I earned what I got here. But I want to also thank my sponsor, Latitude 64, and tell you guys all to check out soccerbomb.com. New website, got new apparel, all kinds of stuff. So check it out. Thank you guys, and thanks Jeff. Thanks Jeff for the day.